Let me just talk about these cruisers. These people that just come onto my channel, just have a look and then don't subscribe. What's up with that? Like, why don't you just subscribe already? It's free. You know, we don't charge you. We don't spam your email. We don't spam your social media timeline or anything like that. So go ahead and unsubscribe, okay? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a hot minute since I put anything out and it's just been crazy. It's been manic. Thankfully, we found a nanny for Sasha, so which means I'm gonna be having a bit more time for myself and be able to be a bit more upfront with these videos and things like that. So that's the good news. Anyway, so today's look is going to be on this right here. I didn't put on any eyelashes today because I wouldn't put eyelashes on for my regular day-to-day routine. This is something that I would wear if I was to be going to classes or uni, for those of you that go to uni, if I had a meeting to go to, if I had to pick up errands, if I just my everyday routine. This look will be appropriate for, you know, those of you that go to work as well, that want to have like a bit of a natural look but still look like you repped. You know, this look is going to be good for you. So if you want to see how I achieve this look, then keep on watching. So I went ahead and then I did my brows, and you guys know that I always use my goof proof brow. If you want me to do an eyebrow tutorial, please make a comment down below and I'll definitely do that. So for foundation, I'm going to be using my Maybelline Fit Me in 360, and it's a matte and poreless one. So I'll just take a little bit on the back of my hand. To blend the foundation, I'm going to be using this flat foundation brush which I picked up the other day in a drugstore. It didn't come with a name. I unfortunately threw away the package, so I don't have the details to show you, but what I'm going to do is try and find out what brand it is, and then I'll link it in the description box. As you can see, one drop of foundation usually does the job for me because I go in with concealer, and the concealer is meant to cover what the foundation doesn't entirely cover. So I don't like to go overboard with foundation. For concealer, I'm going to be using this Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation, and this is in the shade Amber, which is the number 26. I'm going to be using this VSL P9 brush to blend out the concealer I just put down, and I also picked this up the other day at the drugstore. Sister Sledge is representing today. Kai, Sister Sledge. Sister Sledge on my forehead is repping today, man. It's like no retreat, no surrender. Wow, it's just gone really dark at the moment. I think there's a storm coming. You can see, right, that I don't know whether you can tell from the video, but it's just gone really dark. So I'm also going to be taking a little bit of that concealer that I used, and I'm going to use it on my eyelids as a base. This concealer is really potent, so I like to control it, just use a little bit and then build up as I go. I'm going to blend out the concealer on my lids using this number 58 Kohl brush. It's like a small foundation brush, so it gets into details nicely. To set my concealer and my lids, I'm going to be using this BenNye translucent powder in Topaz. To apply the translucent powder, I'm going to be using my blending sponge. So I always make sure that my sponge is a little bit damp because it just does the job better. I'm also going over my eyelids. So wherever I put the concealer, I just go over and then set it with the powder. So I just go over with the sponge until I see that everything is just nice and seamless and I don't look powdery. So whatever is left on my dish, I just go in with a brush and then I just apply that onto my eyelids, still as a base. I'm using this Morphe brush to apply it onto my lids, just to further set it. And I'm not dragging the product, I'm just pressing it onto my eyelids, and it just proper dissolves into my skin. For my regular looks, I don't do major contouring, I just use my powder. And for this, I'm using the MAC Studio Fix in NW58. And to apply this contour, I'm using the Evita Joseph All Over Powder Brush, the G120. So for contour, I like to start on the highest part of my cheekbone, which would be the part closest to my ear. And then I concentrate the product around that area, and then drag it down my jawline, and then bring the excess towards the apples of my cheeks. So this way, it's not a harsh or major contour, it's just a really nice, subtle one. I also like to take the contour just around my forehead, just to frame my face. So we're going to be adding a bit of warmth here, and this will serve also as my blush, because on these kind of looks, on these regular day looks, I just like to keep it natural and simple, just to make it look like everything is coming from within. Whatever I use as my bronzer is what serves as my blush. I'm using the Morphe M505. It's a nice fluffy brush. I'm gonna take that, go back into the powder I use for my contouring, and then I just use that to connect the bridge area of my nose to my eyebrows. So this way it gives it a really nice subtle contour. Nothing harsh, nothing constructed, it's just really nice and soft. It just flows nicely. If you don't have this powder, you can use any powder you use for your contouring for this. I'm taking also a little bit of that into my crease now. Like I said, this is a regular day look, so we want everything to be as natural and connected as possible. So it's nothing too major, it's just creating a little bit of dimension. I'm also running the same powder just around the sides of my nose. Like I said before, I like to bring back some warmth into my face. So for this, I'm gonna go into my Paola palette, and this is the India collection. So I'm going to be using this shade here as my warmth, and then also put that in my crease. And for this, I'm going to be using this contour brush from Revlon. I tap the product onto my cheek, and then I just swirl it around. Because I'm not using any blush, I can go a little bit heavy on this, that's fine. Blushes are usually the first to disappear on your face, so sometimes I go a little bit heavy on this. Again, I like to take this just down my jawline, because everything, like I said, has to connect. I'm also going to go back in and take the same warmth with my Morphe 505 brush, and then connect it to the inner corner of my eyes. For extra depth, I'm going to be going back into the Paola palette, and I'm going to use this darker brown just right here in the crease of my eyes. I'm going to be using this with this Evita Joseph Definer brush. So I'm just keeping this shade just in the outer V of my crease. So this next step is what takes this look from 0 to 50. You don't want to go to 100 because you're not really going out. You're just going to run errands, pick the kids up from school, maybe do a bit of grocery shopping. Unless you want to look too extra, that's entirely up to you. But for me, I just like to keep this a little on the 50 side, not on the 100. Go back into my Paola P palette, this nice gold shimmer. I'm going to be taking it on my finger, place it on the apples of my eyelid. I just blend around, still with my finger, into the crease shade. So just to define what I just put down, I'm gonna use this little eyeshadow brush to define the inner corner of my eyes, because my fingers are a little bit they're too wide for this. I'm also going to be taking a little bit of that highlighter and then just define just under my brow. Still using the small eyeshadow brush. I'm going to be lining my eyes, but I'm going to be thickening the line and then giving a little wing. Just because I'm not going to be wearing lashes for this look. Because when you're going around on errands, you're not going to be walking about with your, well, some people like to, but when I'm doing my regular day-to-day activities, I don't walk around with eyelashes. So I just put on mascara with my eyeliner and I'm good to go. So I'm going to be using the Maybelline Master Ink in matte. For mascara, I'm going to be using these two from Maybelline. One combs out my lashes nicely and gives it a full effect, and the other defines it. So I'm going in first with the volumizing one. So I'm going to use this black eyeliner from Primark to line my eyes, and then I'm going to go in with a pencil brush and then just smudge the bottom lash line. I'm going in with this MAC 214 to smudge the black that I just placed on my bottom lashes. To further smoke out my bottom lash line, I'm going to use the brush that I used originally in my crease. And I'm doing this just in the outer corner. I'm not taking this into the inner corner. A bit of mascara for my lower lashes. So to finish off my face, I'm going to use a shimmer highlighter. So I'm going back into the Paola palette. I'm going to be mixing these two pinks with this light brown shimmer. I'm going to lay down the lightest pink first, and then the darkest pink, and then I will top it off with this nice brown shimmer. For the two pink shimmers, I'm going to be using the MAC 187 brush. I like this dual fiber brush because it disperses the product nicely. It doesn't leave it blotchy. So if I want just a really nice sheer highlighter, then I go in with this. See how it just gives it a nice wash of color without concentrating the product on one spot. It disperses the product nicely without clogging. So it's giving me like a really nice soft wash of a highlight. And it's just really nice and soft. It's not too much. And for the brown highlighter, I'm going to be using the F340 from Evita Joseph. I'm just placing it on the highest points of my cheek. If you ever feel like you've used too much highlighter, what I usually do is go back in with my beauty blender or your beauty sponge and then just go over it lightly. So this way it kind of sucks away the product and it takes a little bit away, and it also helps it to be seamless, you know. It also helps it absorb more into the skin. Like it just melts the product into your skin again. For looks like this, I usually tend to go for really bright lips. Yes, really bold lips. Really nice, dark, rich purple. I'm going to be using Transylvania from NYX. Oh, this is really nice. It wears nicely. It's really, really creamy. About this hair, I didn't plan on going on natural. For those of you that know me, you know that I tried going natural and it just didn't work. Like, it just didn't gel. But I am currently liking this. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.